Right. So I've already explained one by one of it, and then including the last tutorial, last example from this slide. Okay, we will do more. I did attach the 2 tutorials in your WhatsApp group, so we're going to check it after this. Let's look at Islamic Financial Services Board, IFSB. Okay, ini pun salah satu regulations ataupun rules for all Islamic banking. Okay, so conventional is different, and Islamic operating is also another different operation. So they are based on this Act, IFSB. Now, IFSB is basically started its operation in when? In March. Okay, in March 2003, and based in KL. Right, so this IFSB ini started in 2003. Okay, ownership Malaysia. So what it does? So IFSB is basically an international, look at that, international standard. Okay, it is an international standard that is made of setting body of regulators. Maksudnya, this is international organization. Okay, this is an international organization in which it is made of regulators and supervisors. Okay, is an international organization in which it is made of regulators and supervisors who are basically interested in making sure, have interest, look at that. This agency have interest in the soundness and stability of the Islamic financial services industry. So these regulators and supervisors, they are interested in making sure Islamic financial services industry is safe and stable. Okay, it is in the soundness and stability. Maksudnya is safe and stable. This Islamic financial services industry. So what again? So what it is again? IFSB serve as international standard. Ataupun, okay, it is an international organization that is made of regulators and supervisory agency, okay, who are interested in making sure that the Islamic financial services industry here, they are in the soundness and stability. So what is the main goal here? Main goal is to promote or to ataupun to encourage the development of prudent. Prudent means careful, okay, and transparent Islamic financial services. So it is aimed to make sure or to encourage, to promote the development of prudent maksudnya careful and transparent Islamic financial services. Okay. So the establishment of IFSB, the first one, why it was established? This actually tells you why IFSB is being established. Why IFSB was established. Okay, was established. So the first one is to foster good regulatory and supervisory practices. Okay, which means to promote good regulation and supervision, in which this actually means that making sure Islamic financial institution follow proper regulation. Says to foster good regulatory and supervisory practices, to foster good regulatory. So this means that is to make sure Islamic financial institution follow proper rules. Okay. To develop uniform prudential standards. To develop uniform prudential means to create common standards. Uniform, common. Okay. To develop or to create common standards so that banks, all Islamic banks and institutions, they will consistently following the same standard. Okay. To develop common standards. Untuk apa itu? To develop common standards. So that banks and institutions, so that all the Islamic banking and Islamic institutions, finance institutions, they work consistently. To support practices in risk management. To support, maksudnya to support risk management practices lah. To support risk management practices. So this actually helps the institution to manage their financial. Okay. With this IFSB, it helps institution ataupun financial institution manage their financial risk effectively. Okay. So there are few principles that govern the risk management. Generic payment, you baca lah. Pada principle 1.0 of the IFSB says that International Islamic Financial Services should have in place a comprehensive risk management and reporting process. What about in terms of credit risk? So principle 2.1 until 2.4, it mentions about it should have a strategy. It should have a strategy for financing, recognizing potential credit. It shall carry due diligence. It shall have in place appropriate methodology and reporting credit risk exposure. It shall have in place Sharia compliant credit mitigating techniques. Okay, something to do with equity investment risk. So IFSB already stated here in the guideline under principle 3.1 until 3.3. So the first one guideline, it says that it shall have appropriate strategies, risk management reporting process in respect to the risk characteristic of equity instrument, ensure the valuation methodology appropriate and consistent, define and establish exit strategies in respect of the equity investment activities. So all of these are relating to equity investment risk guideline. Okay, how do they manage risk for equity investment risk? So these are guidelines. Okay, from principle 3.1 till 3.3. What about market risk? So this actually governed under principle 4.1. Satu saja 4.1. So this it stated shall have in place appropriate framework for market risk management. Okay, liquidity risk under principle 5.1, 5.2. So it shall place a liquidity management framework, shall assume liquidity risk commensurate with their ability to have sufficient recourse to Sharia compliance. And what about rate of return risk? Okay, ada dua principle 6.1 and principle 6.2. So 6.1, it shall establish a comprehensive risk management reporting process to assess the potential impact of market factors affecting rate of return, have in place appropriate framework managing displaced commercial risk, Operational risk, principle 7.1 and 7.2. That is the last one. So if you notice that, kalau operational risk before that, it says that it should have in place educate system and control. So we know that operational risk, these are actually types of risk that is actually referring to losses due to fraud, due to system failure, due to operation internal. Okay, so dia sudah mention di sini. Shall have in place appropriate mechanism to safeguard the interest of all fund providers. Okay, so here is the operational risk. And then dia cover semua. Equity, market, credit risk. Right, so IFSB also have this guideline for all Islamic banking. Right, so that's all for chapter 2. Now this chapter 2, basically, if you notice, it's stated earlier in this first slide of the title. It says part 1. Basically, there is no part 2. Ini kan part 1. Basically, there is no part 2. The resource person of this course mentioned there's no part 2, it's only part 1. And there's only one slide for chapter 2. There is no part 2. There's only one slide for chapter 2. And that's it. So we have finished all the theoretical part. Now we are going to look into the tutorial. Okay, the tutorial. Let's look at this tutorial question 1. Now this one, I want you all to try to do this together. Inilah activity kita petang ni. I want you guys to all try to do it together. Okay, everyone must try. Kalau ini keluar dalam you punya individual assignment ataupun you punya test, so kalau tidak tahu, memang tidak tahu lah, kosong lah. Boleh repeat nih paper. Kalau walaupun dia tiada final exam. Tiada final exam doesn't mean you cannot repeat. Yes, you still can repeat this paper. Okay, apalagi kalau dia punya assessment 70% assessments, 70% assignment, 30% final test. So memang boleh repeat kalau tidak buat. Okay, memang boleh repeat. So kena faham dia. So try to do this first. Kita buat. I give you, now it's already 2:35. Saya bagi you masa 20 minit. 2:50. Okay, because kita ada 2 soalan. Nih, question 2. Alright. Sebab kita mau bincang lagi. So 2:50. And then when I call your name, I want you to share me your answer. Okay, through WhatsApp. Kita akan discuss your answer through WhatsApp. Alright, so I'm gonna call your name. Siapa yang belum lagi buat, belum tahu, tidak tahu dan apa semua itu jawaban cannot accept. You try to do it first. Okay, buat dulu. Cash masuk apa, berapa dia punya risk weight, balance due from federal. Ada perkataan federal, apa maksud dia? What is the risk weight? So ini tiada rating. So you have to refer to the rules yang bukan yang with the credit rating itu, bukan standardized approach. Satu lagi. Okay, coba buat dulu 2:50. Apa terbalik deh. Miring kepala nih kalau begini. Otot. Okay, let's look your friend answer. Right. So as you can see here, the question tadi dia minta apa itu? Question minta you check on your own, because my tab here dia cuma tunjuk satu sini. Let's see. Di sini lah. Okay. See here. Okay, tengok. So the first one is cash. Okay, first one is cash. So cash ini, if you can see here from this risk weight for balance sheet items, kan? Cash dia risk weight is 0. So cari buat di sini betul. Okay, risk weight is 0. And then balance due from federal. Ini daripada federal, kan? So federal, kalau kita tengok sini, government. So as long as daripada government ini 0. Okay, 0. And then long-term treasury securities. Treasury securities sama juga, ini issued by government. So kita letak 0. 0, 0. Okay. Ini federal, kan? Federal treasury dia 0 lah. Items in process of collection. Item in process of collections here. This one is supposed to be 0. Ini adalah 0. Okay. Item in process of collection. Okay. So dia duduk dalam 0. Kita tengok sini. Claim OECD. Central mortgage. Item in process of collection ini in process of collection. Dia bukan cash to be received. Kalau cash to be received dia dia 20%, tapi dia bukan cash to be received, in process of collection. So the reason is because items in process of collections, these are kalau dia adalah check, yes, 20%. Check 20%. Tapi ini items these are basically a short-term claims. Let's see here. Vessel is within Okay, items in process of collection, these are basically claims on banks. These are basically claims on banks. So, kalau claims on banks, macam yang atas ni kan, claims on, ni ya kan, claims on OECD banks, claim on non-OECD banks, claim from developed banks and from non-developed banks sama juga 20%. Tapi ikutkan di sini ini adalah zero ini. Ada yang jawab zero atau semua kamu buat 20?
20, madam.
Kalau dia adalah, sebab ini items in process of collection, dia boleh jadi check juga, tetapi kalau dia mention check, claims on banks ini 20%, tapi dia punya jawaban sini dia adalah zero nih, zero. Kalau dia treated as equivalent to cash, ataupun dia adalah central bank funds, dia punya weighted itu adalah zero. Dia punya weighted adalah zero, tapi dia tidak mention juga kan item in process of collection. So ini kalau dia mention checks, claim on banks itu 20%. Tetapi kalau dia treated as okay. So ini 20%, kita letak sini 20%. In this answer, kalau ikut dengan resource person punya answer sini, dia letak zero ini. Okay, tidak apa. So ini 20%. It is vague because kalau dia provide explanation kenapa dia letak 0%. Oke, tetapi terang-terang di sini claim on banks di sini is 20%. Claim sama ada dia adalah daripada developed bank ataupun non-developed bank, cash to be received which include checks dan sebagainya, itu semua 20%. Okay, we maintain 20% tidak apa. Loan to countries with OECD, okay, 0%. Ini loan kan daripada OECD, 0. And then loan ini OECD bank. Ini falls under 20% ini. Ini loans on OECD government such as treasury bonds. Itu baru kita 0%. Tetapi kalau claims, you look at that, claims on OECD banks. OECD banks. Loan to countries with OECD. Loan to countries OECD. Ini kepada bank. Kalau kecuali kalau dia mention treasury bonds, so 0. Tapi ini kepada banks. Look at that. Claims on OECD banks, claim on non-OECD banks, banks ini semua kita kena letak 20%. Ini 20. Okay? Loan to countries with OECD. Itu adalah 20%. Loan to foreign banks, OECD, ini terang-terang dia foreign banks. Okay? Ini pun 20%. So 20% here ada 3 item. Ini termasuk ini. Okay? residential family mortgage. Ini residential family mortgage, ini mortgage loan. Mortgage loan, residential mortgage loan 50%. Dia tidak mention uninsured kah, insured kah. So, bila dia tidak mention itu, kita assume tadi saya mention 50%. Commercial loans. Commercial loans is 100%. Okay, corporate. It falls under here. All other claims, such as corporate bond, and less developed country debt. So, corporate loan ini 100%. Premise and equipment also 100%. Right, so only this one. Yang items in process of collection ini dia 20%. Kalau jawapan RP dia 0, tetapi I'll accept this part 20%. Sebab kalau dalam kita punya asset category di sini pun, if items in process of collection can be checks juga, and then this actually treated as short-term bank claims juga, so dia 20%. So coba kira dia, sudah kira kan? Where is your kira-kira risk weight? Okay. Coba recalculate kan? Berapa itu semua tadi? Ada 20% tadi itu kan? So ini berapa? This one jadi berapa? Berapa di sini?
81.
Dapat?
581, madam.
Okay. So 581. So 8% daripada 581 itu adalah kita punya, ini adalah total risk weight. Okay. This one is the total risk weight assets. So dia punya the required minimum level of quality here, minimum level of capital. The required minimum level of capital is 8% daripada 581. So ini sepatutnya 46 million 48,000. Are you guys following? Boleh?
Okay, madam.
Okay, next
Boleh,
one is
Dokter.
right. Next one is the question asks you to calculate the total amount of regulatory capital. Calculate the total amount of regulatory capital for Richie Bank. What is the total amount of regulatory capital? Apa yang masuk dalam tier 1 and tier 2? Now, this part, okay. This part ini, ya, kita tengok sini balik. Oke, ini ya. Sekarang ini kita selesai sudah yang di bahagian asset itu adalah where you use to calculate the required minimum level of capital. Okay, required minimum level of capital. So second Roman, total amount of regulatory capital ini is where you calculate the tier 1 and tier 2. Okay, so tier 1 and tier 2. So this one we use Basel III. Kita guna Basel III sebab regulatory capital no longer include the tier 3. Okay. After all, dia sudah mention sana based on the requirement of Basel III. So kita cuma masukkan tier 1 and tier 2 sahaja. So daripada liabilities and equity here, okay, sepatutnya kita cuma ambil kira bila dia sebut capital kan, termasuk equity. Bila dia sebut capital, termasuk equity. Kita exclude liabilities. Okay, kita exclude liabilities. Kita exclude liabilities. So, tier 1, what do you include in tier 1? What do you include in tier 1? Apa yang kamu include dalam tier 1?
Common stock.
Oh,
Common
Kita
stock.
tambahin.
Non-common
So the first one is common stock. Okay, mana itu common stock ini? Selain common stock, apa lagi kita include?
reserve.
In tier 1. Common stock, apa lagi? Nampak nih? Non-cumulative perpetual preferred stock. Non-cumulative preferred stock. So non-cumulative preferred stock pun termasuk juga kan dalam tier 1. Ada lagi? Did you see any goodwill?
tiada.
Tiada. Apa lagi? Ini tiada. Ini tiada. Ini ada. Ini ada. Disclose reserves, share premium, retained profit, and general reserves. Reserves, demand, mayo. So kita cuma ada dua ini dalam tier 1. Reserve tiada. Ini reserve, disclose reserves such as share premium, retained profits, general reserves, ini tiada. Okay. Kita tengok tier 2. Tier 2 pun dia mau ada perkataan reserve sini, undisclosed. Kalau disclosed reserve itu tier 1. Kalau undisclosed reserve itu tier 2. Okay, so kita tengok sini. Apa lagi yang kita mau masukkan? Dalam tier 2, apa yang kita ambil? What do we include here?
Reserve for loan loss.
Reserve for loan losses. Itu nah kan? Loan loss reserves. Okay, so reserve for loan losses. Ini bagi ini. Ini tier 2. What else? Subordinated bond boleh?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Okay, subordinated bond. Dan kita ada ini nah, subordinated debt juga. Tapi ini sepatutnya kan kita punya requirement adalah 5 years ini. Sepatutnya adalah for 5 years. So here subordinated bond 20. Okay. And then reserve for loan loss 10. Yang ini subordinated term debt with minimum maturity of 5 years. So ini kita tidak, kita exclude. Kita exclude kan? Sebab dia not more than 5 years. Yang subordinated bond di sini atas nih, oke, kita terima lah. Oke, dia tidak mention specific term. So we assume it's more than 5 years. Apa lagi?
Convertible bonds, madam.
Yes. Sebab ini daripada hybrid. Convertible bonds, hybrid debt capital. Ini adalah hybrid debt capital. Maksudnya that particular debt, it can be convertible to preference share. Hybrid debt capital, convertible bond. So dia boleh convert into share. Now what about others? So kita sudah tengok semua kan? What about others? Now you can see that di bahagian liabilities and equity ini tidak semua kita masukkan dalam regulatory capital. So regulatory capital ini consists of asset. Okay, consists of capital dan bukan liabilities. So contohnya macam di sini yang kita tidak masukkan adalah demand deposit. Okay, sebab ini demand deposit ini 150 million. This actually refers to liabilities. Ini demand deposit adalah bank owed kepada customer. Demand deposit ini adalah liabilities. Liabilities owed to customer. So ini customer, they can withdraw anytime ini, deposit ini. They can withdraw their money anytime. So these are liabilities. So since regulatory capital is about banks owned funding cushion, maksudnya banks own funding cushion ini termasuk equity and certain long term debt sahaja. Deposit ini they are not capital. Okay, write it down. Huh? Deposit dia bukan, okay, dia bukanlah capital. Kita cuma ambil kira equity dan long term debts. Tapi long term debts itu ada syarat dia mesti more than 5 years. Mortgage, okay, mortgage ini dia tidak masuk. Ini pun tidak masuk. Ini tidak masuk, mortgage pun tidak masuk. Okay. Ini pun merujuk kepada bank punya liabilities. This refers to borrowing. Borrowings ataupun bank punya mortgage obligation. Dia punya banks punya borrowing in terms of mortgage. Okay, banks punya borrowings ataupun mortgage obligations of the bank. So ini lebih kepada long term liabilities lah. Tapi dia we do not include it as part of the regulatory capital. Okay, because ini something that bank owe. Macam itu demand deposit juga tadi. Okay, again this is liability, dia bukan capital. And it doesn't provide apa ini? This does not provide buffer against losses lah. Okay, mortgage ini. You can take the explanation this morning yang mana mortgage dia terpaksa adakan sini tuh. Mana itu tadi? What happened here? Sudah ini. Ada yang kita exclude itu daripada Basel III. Dia termasuk mortgage. Mana sudah itu? Kenapa saya punya slides ini tidak boleh? Oke, sekejap. Kita tunggu. Saya punya slide tidak. So ini Basel III. Mortgage salah satu yang kita tidak masuk. Tuh, mortgage servicing rights. Kamu nampak tuh? Ini disallowed daripada Basel Accord III. Mortgage. Right? Dia ada explanation dia kan? Federal Fund Reserve. Federal Fund Purchase. Federal Fund Purchase ini pun merujuk kepada short term interbank borrowing. Mau tulis Okay, because this is the explanation. Ini pun tidak masuk because this is the short term interbank borrowing. Interbank borrowing. This is a loan. This is similar to a loan the bank takes from another bank. So it does not provide macam mortgage tadi, it does not provide a buffer against losses. Okay, cannot be counted as regulatory capital. Ini bank punya borrowing kepada another bank. Because when we talk about regulatory capital, is meant to cover risk. So apa-apa borrowing ni kita exclude. Macam mortgage itu maksudnya buat bank punya borrowing. Housing borrowing tu another kan? Right? Another bank. Housing borrowing. This refers to borrowings ataupun mortgage obligations of the bank. So ini mortgage. Demand deposit pun borrowing juga. Liabilities of that bank kepada customer. Federal Fund Purchase ini pun merujuk kepada short term interbank borrowing. So regulatory capital, write it down, is meant to cover risk. So borrowing, they are all excluded. Okay. So these are the things lah yang kita sudah exclude itu. Right, so total dia berapa? Total dia ini 10 campur 50 tier 1 total 60 kan? Tier 2 30 campur 20 campur 10 60. So all together tier 1 60 million, tier 2 60 million. So all together total regulatory capital ini tambah. So total regulatory capital is 120. Okay. So when you were asked to analyze the third Roman, so you were asked to analyze ini bank's tier 1 capital ratio. Bank's tier 1 capital ratio, bank's tier 1 capital ratio kita ambil. Tier 1 tadi berapa? 60 million. Right, dia punya formula itu berapa tadi? Ini kan? Formula dia adalah ini. Tier 1 ratio. So, tier 1 capital 60 million. 60 million. Paham kah? Ayalah, 60 million. Tier 1 only. Tier 1, 60 million divided by total risk weight. Total risk weight tadi 581. So, persen berapa itu? What is the percent here? Ini bila ratio means dalam persen.
10.33.
If you round it up,
Yes.
ada
3.33.
10.34. 10.33 saja.
Yeah, after LNAP.
After round up, Okay. 60 million divided by total risk weight. So, you simpan ini formula. Sebab inilah soalan yang biasa ditanya. Total risk weight. Ada soalan?
Tiada.
Boleh paham nggak? Boleh. You guys can follow.
Boleh.
Boleh, Madam.
Okay, so the next question is asking you, apa itu? Explain any three concept of market risk. So how do you answer market risk? Here you can talk about all factors relating to market risk. Apa dia? What you can talk about market risk? Konsep of market risk sebelum ini ada kan? Apa dia? Market risk. Ini dalam slide first chapter. First chapter. Market risk. Ada nggak di sini ya? Apa? Market risk include sini kan before this. Market risk pun ada sini itu. I did mention before this. Apa dia? Market risk before this. First one is in terms of interest rate risk. Itu mau kena explain interest rate risk. Second, what is it?
Foreign exchange risk.
Foreign exchange risk. Okay. Third, apa lagi satu?
Equity.
Come again? Apa itu?
Equity prices.
Equity prices. Equity prices. What can you say about equity prices? Equity prices lah yang reflect market risk. Because any changes in the market will affect the price of the stock prices, will affect the price of the equity. Okay. So these are the three factors yang you can talk about. Itu adalah I think I did mention about it when I explain satu-satu a type of risk. Okay. You can talk about interest rate, stock prices, currency rates, yang exchange rate tadi. Okay, next one. Ini boleh ah? I'm just going to share this. Okay, next one. Question 2. Nah, ini nah. Okay. Below is a statement of financial position, maksudnya statement, this a balance sheet lah, for Easy Bank. So you ada asset, ada liabilities, and equity. So based on the above information, once again, calculate the risk-weighted asset as defined by Basel I. Calculate the total amount of regulatory sama juga. Calculate the total amount of regulatory capital and its ratio according to Basel I. Kali ini based on Basel I. Before this, Basel III. And then based on the answer in second Roman, calculate Easy Bank capital exposure to credit risk. Wow. Okay. I'll give you 345 sampai 345. 345. Buat macam tadi juga. Okay, 345. So that we discuss the answer. Ya. Try to do it fast. Kalau ini saya mau panggil Google.